Alrighty, folks, we're back. Back doing another Halloween RPG for you all. The one shot lives on, and this time it has absorbed the cast of Varlastan and Sam as well. So, starting at the top, who are you? Where would folk know you from, and who are you playing tonight? Starting with the wonderful. We miss her because she's not on very often, but the wonderful dragon.
Hello, I'm Dragon. Tonight I am playing Aristata, usually just called Aris. She is an elf, but she was learning. She was doing some gardening stuff, and there was an injury, and someone else really screwed up the healing. And now she's part plant. So, her main fears, not entirely surprisingly, the first one is fire, because all the plants she was tending do not like fire. And fungal diseases. Like, mycelium is really good for plants, but they can also be taken over by them. So, hopefully I'm not going to need to deal with mushrooms or mycelium. That might not be ideal.
Well, we'll see. Alright, next we have Mr. Greg.
Good evening. I'm Greg. I am here occasionally. I run a Varlastan game. I'm also various other places online. I am playing Wolf this evening. Wolf is a very grumpy, very tired, very done with this war, and is entirely not based on my working experiences.
Fair enough, fair enough. Next we have Mr. Coakley.
Hi, I'm Coakley. I'm part of the Varlastan streams. And this evening I'll be playing Beric. Scummy, mercenary, corpse picker, looter. All the most wonderful things a man can be. For fears, decided to go for some classics. Height, and dying alone and unloved. Hopefully only one of those will come into play during the course of this, but you never know.
You never know. You never know. Alright, and finally rounding off this epic trip we have Sam.
Evening all, I'm SamMunition. You probably won't know me from anywhere because I stream about once a year. This evening I am playing Aurelia, who is former military Lupin, separated from the military after a fairly disastrous sinking incident which has left her with a fear of deep water and skeletons.
Alright, well, those are the players. Let us begin. So, as with every single Penance RPG Halloween special we've done for the past 7 years, you find yourself responding to requests of work on the wall of a tavern. As you enter the building, you see a dwarf and an elf having quite a heated argument, and that sort of lackadaisical man off to the side. As the dwarf and elf clock you, they both sort of run back towards a door each, basically. Both of them kind of put their heads inside, then turn back out, and one of them goes, "Oh, you'll be looking for the work, yes? Come this way. Come work with the elves. We know exactly what we're doing." And at this point, the dwarf pipes up, going, "Hey, no. You're traditionalists. You're traditionalist miners. Come work with us. Come work with us." And at this point, the lackadaisical man sort of lifts his head, feebly points to a sign that says Union, and goes, "You know it's right. What would you like to do?"
I don't want to get involved in inter-party politics.
Shall we start with the human?
I speak to the union man.
Alright. So you walk over, you walk into the room next to the Union man, who sort of sort of give a sort of very grumpy noise as he gets himself up off his chair and follows you inside, closing the door behind him. He goes, right there, well, if you're gonna come work in the mine, you need to sign up for the union. This will be make sure that if anything happens to you, we'll put your body in a coffin. So here's some paperwork if you just like to sign here.
Hang on, what kind of work is it we're doing here?
Oh, it's just working in the mine. You know how mine work is. Something can happen in a heartbeat, and would your loved ones truly feel all right if you ended up at anything less than a fine oak coffin?
They'd probably be fine
Where is
with
the
it.
mine?
Oh, it's at the mountain of Bricquemynydd, not far from here.
Okay. Do you know what those other two were arguing about?
I'm not going to seize after all. Oh well, you see, the elves have started out in the mine. You see, the dwarves, well, they think they're entitled to have it back because their grandfather was the one that sold it to the elves. Only he didn't really tell them he was selling it. He just sort of decided one day he was. And the dwarves, you know how dwarves are. They don't take these things very easily.
Aye, we don't.
Oh, I see. But
Is it
mostly,
elves?
most of the factor is that, the dwarves ain't got much say in it, because they don't own the mine no more. But they don't like the fact that the elves aren't even digging out what they call traditional materials. Instead, digging out graphite, which, dwarves, they've got this sort of natural hardness to them where they're like, oh, everything's soft if it's not the thing the dwarves do. So, they're saying soft elves, digging soft graphite out the soft wall. You know what they're like. They won't let it go.
So, is it just graphite that they're mining up there?
Oh,
I was hoping for,
well, they're paying quite well for digging out graphite. You see, the elves originally wanted the mine because, elves haven't really got much history of taking mines. But they like the idea because then they can make their little writing materials, them little sketchy things they like to do.
And so, have everyone that signed up for working in the mines, have they all joined the union as well, or are we going to be dealing with non-union people down there too?
Well, we've got about 30% of people so far. The problem is, it's very difficult to, convince people that joining the union is a step forward, you see. Because dwarves don't like unions. But, we've been here for a while. We've just started when the dwarves were at the sort of tail end of the thing. Mostly because the dwarves needed extra labour. So they hired a bunch of humans through us. Oh, let me, on that note, he sort of ruffles through a desk. And he goes, just out of interest, are you any good at finding people?
I mean, I've been known to find a person or two.
Oh, good. Right, well, the thing is, you see, we've since we started up being the union of that mine, we've had a lot of people go missing. They've, more of them have sort of, it sort of was bad for a while, and then it got better when the elves took over, and now it's starting to get bad again. So, if you're going to be going to the mine anyway, I mean, we would, consider, giving you a 3-month part of the union towards that fine oak coffin, if, you just see if you can find what's happened to people.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I feel like I shouldn't be, doing that in addition to mining. I think I'd rather be doing that instead of hard labor.
Well, it's entirely up to yourself. I mean, you're paid to go down to the mine. Well, the dwarves kind of pay you more when you sort of turn up to the refining room with a big sort of, thing full of graphite. So, you can just go to the mine and have a wander around, but you'll only really make the sort of, well, gold and that if you're happy doing mining.
There's plenty of ways to make gold in a mine, don't you worry.
But if we decide to go and look for someone, then going there under the guise of miners is actually quite useful. So
It could be, but what I'm hearing is you want us to come and work in the mine, but the only way we're going to get paid is if we mine. So if we're spending our time looking for people, there's got to be more in it than a month of free dues.
Well, you see, we're not the one that pays. You see, we're the one that sort of, well,
they're the ones that make sure that the workers don't get stiffed on their pay.
that's the one. Aye. I mean, we only take a small percentage to make sure that you're looked after, you're well paid, and you get a coffin. Or if you take our premium plan, you even get buried too.
I'm thinking
Let's
I
have
want
a look
couple.
at your paperwork then, Sunshine.
Oh, it's here. Let you go, and he hands you this relatively thick with lawyer speak letter with a dotted line at the bottom.
I'm going to take a good look at that.
All right. Well, I think everything's falling above board.
I'll peer over the dwarf's shoulder and whisper in his ear. Psst. What's it say? I can't read.
Good thing I can then, isn't it?
All right. Roll your literacy.
Oh, I thought you meant me. I was going to say, literally don't have it.
I do have it. Remind me which dice?
Just D20. D20 plus literacy would be intelligence.
Okay. That was a very poor 6.
That's 6 plus or 6 in total?
Total of 6.
Total of 6. You look down at your eyes start blurring from all the lawyer speak.
Oh, for goodness sake. Aris reaches over, grabs them out of his hand, and tries to read them.
Okay. Roll literacy.
Nice rolling. Eight.
8. You too find yourself just like your eyes almost crossing as you read such wonderful clauses as, mine, comma, that is to refer to the fact of a mine, comma, as in a building, comma, as in a hole in the ground, comma, as in a vein, comma, will be referred to as a mine, comma, as to be referred to for henceforth forward, comma, as a mine, comma, unless under circumstances where something does belong to someone, comma, in which case it might be referred to as theirs, not mine, comma. And this goes on and on and on for many, many lines.
I don't think it's illegal. I don't think it's our reading that's the problem with this.
Oh, let's see if I can make any sense of it.
Alright.
Take it over and slide it over to me.
Alrighty. Do a literacy roll.
9.
9. Yeah, you're lost by the sheer number of commas. But you hand it back to him, sort of almost confused, and he goes, "It does that. It's a great sleep aid, as well, if you'd like to take one with you. But for the most part, we just need you to sign this. Print it so we can read your name properly, you see. And then he ruffles through more drawers and he pulls out a very elaborate 6-inch long oak coffin and just sits on the table. He goes, there we go. You'll get one of this only, after a year, it's full size. Unless you get burnt. If you get burnt to death, then you might find this one.
Well, fine. I'll sign up.
Okay. So you sign the paper. He goes, oh, that's grand. Thank you very much. If you have any other questions, feel free to go ahead. We don't really have a list of people, you see, to give you. The problem is that some folk have just scarpered. But those who haven't, we don't know which have still paid and which we haven't, because, there's still all the teething problems. We've only been going about 2 months. But, we're doing well. We're in the sort of foothills of being involved with all them elves. They've only been taken over for a month.
Well, I'm short on cash anyway, so I could sign up as well. Although, one thing. Sorry, I never asked your name.
Oh, I'm Kelvin.
One thing, Kelvin. I just want you to promise me there's nothing in this contract about ownership of the soul.
Oh. Oh, we didn't think of that. Oh, that would have been a good way to get around live union rules. Oh, no, there's nothing about the soul, no.
As it stands, fine, I'll sign up then.
It's entirely based on gold and payment. And coffins, obviously.
So Aurelia will sign up as well.
Okay.
I'll sign it. I don't have to like every bit of it, but I'll sign it.
Alright.
Well, if everybody else is signing it, Beric digs into his bag, it brings out a stamp. It just says turnip. Got one of the boys in my village to write that up for me. When you're a mercenary, you need to sign a lot of stuff, but no, it's fine.
Fair. So you stamp away and he goes, oh, wonderful, right, well, as I said, if you can let any information you find that lets us know what's going on with people we've lost, that'll be wonderful. But I wish you all good digging.
Thank you.
And he gestures you back up the door. And as he walks up and opens the door, the elf and the dwarf jump back about 4 feet as if they were standing behind the door, and they both sort of give each other a look and then look back at you and go, we weren't listening.
I see. Well, as we've joined the union, we better speak to the owner of the mine to actually be employed.
The dwarf goes, you mean the true owners of the mine? And the elf goes, of course they don't. They mean the actual owner. Come this way. And they lead towards the door. The dwarf just standing there going, well, it's up for debate.
What do you say we speak to them first and then we'll come and talk to you?
Fine. The dwarf grumpily goes back over. You see him just... He closes the door, but then you see open again and just see his eyes just looking through the door as if he's trying to work out when you've gone in.
Oh, this pair don't seem suspicious at all.
Not at all.
Okay, I go into the room with the elf.
Alright, so the elf gestures you in. You all follow inside. He sits down and goes, well, wonderful to have you all here. We've taken great care and attention to only employ the most appropriate people that are coming to mine. So, first of all, we need to ask, what is your experience with mining?
For me, not extensive.
You
I
don't
look
need to have
over at the
experience
dwarf.
if you're keen. Well, we're very happy for people that are just keen to, get in there and break rocks.
I have zero experience, but I hear you have money, and I have a need of money.
Well, that's very accurate. We do, yes. We do have money, yes. We have,
Then colour me keen.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's good to know. Well, that's right. We'll get down to this. Just a side question. Are you superstitious at all?
Slightly stitious.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my lucky rabbit's foot, and I say my prayers and throw salt over my shoulder, but nothing too major.
Right. Well, what is your thoughts on hypothetically, of course, the concept of ghosts?
Not for me.
Right. So you don't like ghosts in a kind of want to get rid of them kind of way, yes?
I would not want to be in the same place as a ghost.
Ah, right. Well, but you'd be hyper aware of there being a ghost, right?
Very, very aware.
Good, good. That's what we need. Good. So the rest of you can all sort of, have your friend here help you as we, well, as of course, hypothetically, if there was a ghost for us to ask you to get rid of, hypothetically, your friend here would be very useful. Hypothetically.
I don't
That's
know.
a very
I've been paid to stab a lot of people, and I've not seen any ghosts.
Good, good. Well, that's the kind of mindset we need with this. You see, miners are very superstitious by nature. And we're not really sure why, but there seems to be some kind of ghost running around in the lower levels of the mine. You see, none of us have actually seen him. Well, one person has. They claimed that he was about 5 foot tall and sort of ghostly white and wobbly. But everyone else just claims of things like chains being rattled, lanterns being blown out, the usual stuff. So, if you could go in and maybe find what this ghost either wants, or, to use a term I picked up from the dwarves, get it shifted, I would be very appreciative. We would, and he just sort of slowly just pushes a small bag of gold across the table. We would take it as very, very rewarding.
It's very specific for a hypothetical.
Yes. I mean, if anybody asks, it's hypothetical. He sort of gives a very obvious long wink.
The last elf that was this hypothetical near me didn't turn out so grand. Let's hope this is a bit more hypothetical.
Oh yes, totally. I mean, I mean, what kind of ghost would rattle a chain? I mean, we're not slavers. What kind of nonsense is this?
Are you sure it's not just a very white dog? I have read that in a story once.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, no one's really willing to go and find out. So if you'd be willing to go down to the lower levels, as it were, and find what this actually is, we'd be very grateful.
I'll bring some dog treats.
I just say as a kind of aside to the group, well, if we're going to be investigating, looking for these missing people anyway, that's a good excuse to wander the mine from top to bottom.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, good. Well, if you get into any kind of difficulty, and he puts a hand in his pocket and he takes out these sort of small, it's like an elven leaf sort of brooch. He just hands up one to each of you and he goes, "Just you show that to the guards. They very much know you're on our side."
I see. Okay. We'll report back to you once we have some findings.
Oh, marvelous, marvelous. Well, yes, you do that, and hopefully it turns out to just be a bunch of folklore and nonsense, and then we can all get on with, working together to make our fortune.
Indeed.
Do you have any other questions?
No, thank you. And I turn to leave.
Alrighty.
And Aurelia scoops up that bag of gold on the way out.
Mm-hmm. You get up and you leave. Again, when you open the door, the dwarf's just standing there awkwardly as if he's been listening and goes, I just needed to just tie in my shoes.
I
Seemed an
see.
awful.
Now it's time for you to tell us what's going on.
Oh, well, if you just if you just follow me, I'll enlighten you. So he followed the dwarf in. He goes into a room. There's two other dwarves there who all look quite serious. And he goes, right, well, I know you've spoke to the elves, and well, I just would like to make sure that you're aware of the potential that the elves might not own this mine legally.
So, okay, we heard from the Union man that the mine was sold by an ancestor of yours who didn't tell you they were doing it, and now you're upset about that. Is that accurate?
Well, Grandpappy wasn't in the best frame of mind, you see, when he went. He just decided one day on his deathbed that the mine was to be sold, rather than being passed on to my father and the rest of the elders. So we would very much like to know why our ancestral home, which we'd been there for generation after generation after generation, has suddenly been renovated by a bunch of, well, to put it nicely, bastards.
Okay, so you might not have inherited the mine. Did you inherit the gold that you were paid for the mine?
Well, they didn't pay for the mine with gold. Grandpappy literally just gave it to them.
I
Because,
see why you're upset.
well,
What on earth is wrong with your mine?
well, you see, Grandpappy had this belief, shall we say, that the mine had ran its course. It had ran out of gold and jewels and everything else you'd find, even however deep we'd go. So, since that all gone, he felt that, well, this is us putting 2 and 5 together and hoping we're close to 3. What we'd found is that he, well, we believe that he was trying to encourage the ancestral dwarves to move on. Because, as we said, the gold and jewels had gone. But, I mean, it's an ancestral home. I mean, whether it had no gold or jewels left, it was still our ancestral home. And the elves, in this contract of theirs, have been given this mine under the understanding that there's no gold or jewels. So, if miraculously there was to be found gold or jewels, then we'd get our mine back. And we'd look very favourably upon the people who helped us, if you catch my drift.
Why would they just give you it back if it had gold and jewels in it?
Because it's in the paperwork and they're hiding behind the paperwork. Look, he
Right.
puts his hand in his pocket and just pulls out a glass vial. In the glass vial is quite a lot of gold shavings, and he goes, like, just make sure that just ends up in one of the mines, and you'll be looked after, I promise you.
Aris is incredibly unhappy about this.
Beric kind of leans in and is like, well, you see, the thing is, and then jingles the coin pouch.
Oh,
We've been paid up front.
don't worry, we can easily match such things.
Well, I would be a poor mercenary if I decided to wait until afterwards to get paid. So,
I see. Right,
why
well,
not See if
Get
you
up,
can match
go.
our contribution here.
And one of he sort of whispers to the other dwarf, and the other dwarf runs out the door and returns a couple of moments later with about roughly the same kind of size bag. And he goes, "Right, there you go. We've matched you. I don't know what the elves asked. I couldn't hear, but if you were to just suddenly be found in one of the lower dig sites on the eve of a investigation team turning up, which is going to be about the day after tomorrow, so the day after you get there, if there was just happened to be gold shavings found in one of the mines, you know what we'd do."
Say no more, friend.
I'll scoop up the vial of gold shavings and touch it into a pocket.
Okay. Right, well, hopefully, pleasure doing business with you. Is there anything else you would require of us, as it were?
Do you have a map of the mine?
Well, no. We can get you one, though. The elves have got a good couple of them. One saying, "Get up, go." And the dwarf gives a sort of like stunned of where the fuck would I get this look, and then runs out the door. He goes, "He's very good job. You'll find something." A couple of minutes later, you hear this, "Oi, who you saying that for?" And then the dwarf runs running back in, waggling a piece of paper. And he goes, he puts it on the table, and you go, "Ah, good boy. Right. So here's a wee map of the mine. It covers everything you'll see. What have they done to my mine?" And he's just looking at this map, just like blinking and looking like going, right. Well, I was gonna tell you about our lavish dwarven drinking hall, and but they've what have they done to it? Oh, heavens, no, please, no. He just pushes the map over towards you and goes, "Oh, I don't want to look at that anymore. Just take it." So you have a map. The map says the top floor has got some like sort of officey areas and some stalls. The next floor down seemed to have dwarven drinking hall, but it's been like bits of it have been coloured in. One bit of it's been coloured in with infirmary, one bit's been coloured in with barracks, and the word dwarven drinking hall has been lined through with canteen written in really neat elven script on top of it. Below that says dig site 1. It says the refining room and equipment room, and below that says dig site 2, and below that in sort of big thick dwarven letters says bedrock.
Okay. I think we should probably head to the mine.
Just before we head out, when we were speaking to the elf over there, he told us that there was some strange goings on in the mine. When you dwarves were still working it, did you have any experiences of unexplained noises and lamps being put out in the depths of the mine?
We didn't really. I mean, we don't really. I suppose we don't really record such things, to be honest. Most of the most of our experiences in the mines have just been, tragic accidents happen. I mean, we lost one of our elders about 2 or 3 days before the elves took over. He was crushed to death by quite a large rock that fell on him. But apart from the odd accident, most of it seems to be a bit above board.
Okay. So I
Okay.
reckon then if we've got the gold from the doors and instructions, we should maybe make tracks.
All right.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, so you head out of the room with the dwarves. You head onto, there's a sort of cart waiting outside, which takes you a long winding road up towards the mountain. As you about to sort of drop down into this hamlet, you see a large sign which has got the Mountain of Kinbanog written in very thick dwarven font, and Kinbanog has been scored out with two very neat lines and Bricquemynydd written in very flowery elven font below it.
Mm.
As you pull into the small hamlet itself, you have a relatively night of quiet comfort in the inn. The next morning, as you awaken, you hear the sound of sort of hustle and bustle outside, and you look outside to see that there are all these elves and dwarves and humans walking towards this very sort of stunted-looking train, very crude-looking steam train. And as you climb aboard, it takes you long and deep into the mountain. It is built for dwarves, so anyone above like 4'6" is really struggling for headroom. But as you follow it deep into the darkness of the mine, and everything goes dark, a couple of minutes go by, and then you are almost exploded into this bright, well-lit part of a tunnel. The train slows down, and you find yourself on this top floor of this mine. As you disembark from the train, you see, as you sort of look around, you see a bunch of elven guards sort of watching the people. You see a dwarf with a clipboard counting flagstones. And you see quite a lot of people gathering round what looks like a large hole in the floor. What would you like to do?
I want to see what's in that big hole.
Right. You walk over and you look at it, and you sort of nudge the person next to you and point to it, and he goes, "Oh, it's a lift. It turns up about every 6 hours. It's some archaic dwarven engineering, apparently." So if anyone is familiar with Souls-like lifts, this is a Souls-like lift. It activates every 6 hours, and that's how you get between floors. This is the MacGuffin for this year's Halloween.
Okay.
I see.
So as you're waiting for the lift to arrive, are you going to talk to anyone, or are you just going to wait for the lift?
Let's see what the flagstones are all about.
All right. So you go over to the dwarf counting flagstones, who you just see him go 147, 148, 140, 149. Tut tut tut, and he scribbles some numbers down. He goes, "Yeah, can I help you?"
Aye. What's the deal with the flagstones?
Oh, I'm a health inspector. I'm Tommy. I'm here to assess by the union how all the safety standards that are wrong with this mine. I've already quite a lot. I mean, I've got things. He just gestures to the pad in front of him, which even as a glance he sort of shows you and takes away again. You see the big problem on his list is things like elves have 2 ears. 2 is a bad number. So I'm making a list of all the potential safety hazards that the elves need to address before this mine is considered safe.
Right. Any of these safety issues you've identified any further in, or have you just assessed what's up here so far?
Well, you see, I start at the top of the mountain. My colleague Tony, he starts at the bottom, and he's currently milling around in Dig Site 2, having a wee bit of a cheeky check, as it were, of what he can find. And we're going to meet in the middle, somewhere probably around the canteen.
Interesting. So who else is around that I can talk to?
There's some elven guards, and there's just some store owners. But just most of the stores just seem to be like basic mining equipment.
I have a shovel. Maybe I should buy something like a pick.
Yeah, I was not aware that this was a bring your own pick sort of event.
I think I'll go over and see how much it is for a pickaxe.
Alright, you go over to the nearest stall. It's owned by what seems to be a very bustling tabaxi. He goes, "Oh, hello, my friend. Do you like to buy a pickaxe? Would you like to rent the pickaxe? It's a lot cheaper to rent the pickaxe, but you have to make sure you bring it back in perfect quality."
How much is it to rent a pickaxe?
Oh, only 1 gold a day. It's very cheap, very cheap.
And to buy?
Oh, it is only 20 gold to buy. I mean, it's look at the pickaxe. It's wonderful quality, please. Yes, you buy. Yes.
Aris just looks round at everyone else and is like, it's really expensive.
I mean, I don't really want to be digging for 20 days. So,
No.
To break even, you're going to rent a pickaxe for 20, or you'd have to rent a pickaxe for 20 days to break even on buying it. I don't want to dig that long.
Yeah, I think renting one would be fine. Maybe a couple of us can rent one. We don't all need one.
No, yeah, I'll leave out the renting to someone else. I'm not a fan of hard labor. I'll do a bit of investigating.
I'll slap the dwarf on the shoulder. Looks like it's you and me then. The only two that are willing to do any hard work for their money.
Oh, my friend, a wonderful dwarven friend. Yes, you know quality when you see it. No, don't you think Pickle doesn't understand this? Pickle knows very well that the dwarves understand quality. So how about you take this wonderful pickaxe here? Only a gold, only 1.5 gold a day. Look at it, wonderful, dwarven built quality. Yes.
I'm just going to look at it. Look at the ones either side of it.
Oh, you don't want those. Those are built for horrible, tall, disgusting. Yeah. No. This is built for the dwarf. It's perfectly height for the dwarf, perfectly built for the dwarf, and only, as he said, only 1.5 gold a day.
I'd rather take my chances on the standard model.
Oh, you break Pickle's heart.
I'm sure Pickle will get over it right fine.
Well, I suppose you could have this one for only 1.25 gold a day. I mean, I suppose it would do.
I'll take a pickaxe for 1 gold a day, thank you very much.
Oh, come on! Don't do this to Pickle. No. Pickle has family. Pickle needs to live. He needs to get by. You know.
At 1 gold a day for a pickaxe in the captive audience market, I think Pickle's family have provided for very, very well.
I suppose I can give you one for 1 a day. So Ruffles and he brings out a pickaxe. Goes, there you go. Have this one. 1 gold a day. But if anything happened to it, you need to repair it yourself. It's not Pickle's fault if it break.
Well, before I give you the money, I'll be making sure it's not already broken, won't I?
Oh, what kind of businessman do you think Pickle is?
A very, very wealthy one. Just going to give it some test swings and just tap it on the ground a couple of times, make sure it's not obviously
you tap
broken.
it very gently on the ground and it just crumbles immediately, and he goes, oh, these dwarves, they don't understand how to use finest quality things. You break poor Pickle's things. You break my tools. Oh,
I think Pickle might have a few more of these unfit for purpose gadgets around here. What would the Union have to say to you, Pickle?
Oh, the Union?
You want me to get that
I would
Union guy over here?
I would not soil Pickle's good name for talking to a Union.
That won't stop him auditing your stock, will it?
Well, I mean the
pickaxe, good one, now. Or we
fine.
walk away, and he comes over here.
he ruffles through the bag and he takes another one out and he taps it on the ground a couple of times and he goes, eh. And he hands it to you and he goes, "There you go. You'll get one of Pickle's best pickaxes. Just don't be shy with the coin when you come back."
I'll test this again to make sure.
Yep, this one doesn't break when you tap it on the ground.
That'll do. And another one of these for my friend.
Oh, you want a second one? Well, I mean, I do a good rate for two, you know. Only two and a quarter for the day, you know.
Pickle.
Fine.
Beric is conspicuously checking his knife.
He goes back and he brings you another one. Again, you tap on the ground, it seems fine. He goes, "There you go. Skinning Pickle's tail."
Pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah, just make sure you bring the money.
Aye, that's
Aye.
fine.
So he goes back to sharpening something. So
I don't know if I've told you this lately, Wolf. I like you.
Folk only tell me that when they're on my side of things. Funny that.
all right. So you wait around. Eventually, you hear this very loud dwarven horn sounding, and the ground beneath your feet starts grumbling really loudly. You look over and you see this gigantic stone plate just start descending past you on the way down, and a bunch of sort of miners climb aboard it as it keeps going down. Where would you like to go? As you consult your map, you can see that you can stay on this floor, which is the vendors and the train station, and there is some offices. Or you can go to the floor below, which has the infirmary, the barracks, and the canteen. There's the floor below that, which has dig site 1, which has, again, the dig site. It has the equipment room and the refinery. Or below that is dig site 2, which just has a very large dig site. Where would you like to go?
I mean, are we better off doing our investigation first or planting our evidence first?
I think we either need the infirmary or dig site 1.
The other safety inspector's meant to be at dig site 2.
Aye, let's give him time to finish making shit up first.
Shall we go down in order then?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Right.
Okay.
Is he going to first floor down?
Yep.
Okay. The stone plate is very strange as you step on it, and it continues lowering into the dark. After it lowers about maybe 10-20 feet, you step off on the floor, and you see to your left, you see a quite large building with a very crudely painted red cross in the front of it. In front of you, there seems to be what quite easily used to be a lavish dwarven drinking hall, which has now got a bunch of elves who look like they're making some kind of bread. There seems to be some benches and some other little stalls, and to your right there is what looks like a quite large stone building, with the door lying open. You can hear the sound of snoring coming from it. As you're sort of looking around, you see coming up the opposite side of the sort of hole, you see another plate with and you see an elf pushing off a trolley with two dwarves who are lying face down, with snow white hair and beards, and they seem to be twitching quite violently. And as you sort of watch the elf go past, the elf goes, "Morning," and wheels them towards the infirmary. What would you like to do?
I want to know what happened to them.
Yeah, I kind of want to fall into step alongside the elf and say, what happened to these guys?
Oh, well, they were all both found down in Dig Site 2. I'm not really sure what the problem was, but they just seem to be fine. And he just pokes the top one, who immediately just stops shaking and just starts being completely still. And he goes, "They're just like this. We find like a good couple every day now."
And you're still sending them down?
Well, it's not so much that they look like this when we get down there. I don't remember anyone looking like this going down. But, we just find them. They get taken to the edge, and then we get sent, whenever the lift goes off. We go down every floor and just sort of collect them, as it were.
Big white dog.
And even from a point of view of ethics, you're using up your workforce here. If you keep sending dwarves down to do your mining,
Oh.
and then
We're sending a good couple of hundred dwarves down. Well, dwarves and humans and the occasional elf. But the dwarves just seem to sort of, I don't know, they reach a stage of, I don't know if it's exhaustion or drunkenness. But either way, we need to sort of bring them back up. It's fine. They have a little stint in the infirmary where they, go under the bed and lie down. I don't really know why they like under the bed, but they like under the bed. And, then we do something with them. I don't know what it is.
and after that they're okay.
Well, I don't really know. I'm not really in charge of, what happens to them once they get there. I'm just a collector. I just go up and down the lift and pick people up.
I'm not sure dwarves should be coming into this mine at all. What about the humans? Do they come back like this?
Oh, no. I haven't really seen many humans come back, no. But the workforce definitely must once be older. Because, occasionally we see the older gentleman, swinging the axe down there. But, no. That humans don't seem to be as unreliable, it seems. That said, a lot of the humans that do end up down there that are like this, if we do find any, they've all been at that mushroom beer.
Mushroom beer?
Oh, it's one of them dwarves brews it over there, and he gestures towards the canteen. You'll know her when you find her. She's the angry one.
Okay. I'm going to stay well away from the canteen.
That says got a 3-minute warning for ads, so we'll carry on until it gets to a minute, and then I'll pause. Oh well, I gotta get these dwarves into the infirmary.
Okay. Thank you for explaining.
No problem. And he wheels them off towards the infirmary. What would you like to do?
The hell is going on down in Dig Site 2? And he didn't say that the humans come back up fine. Just that he doesn't transport many humans. Dwarves are usually hardier than humans. Humans are quite squishy.
Dwarves will survive a lot of things a human won't.
Yes, but they don't come back in a healthy state.
No, I think we need to see what's inside the infirmary.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
think you're right.
Alright.
Could swing by and grab a beer first, though.
You will keep the mushroom beer well away from me, thank you very much.
Alrighty. You head towards the infirmary. As you open the door, you see the elf that's just been wheeling stuff in has wheeled. There's like little wings off to the left and to the right all the way along, and there seems to be like a sort of more of a better term, like nurse's station style table. Every about 2 or 3 wings, there seems to be one in the middle. And as you go in, you see the elf go up to the table, and the elf who's already sitting at the table points at one of the wings and just tells them to put them there. And as you walk forward into this room, you see a like horseshoe of beds on each wing, and the beds look completely neat and made up and empty, all the way around, and then there's a human, and then again another halfway around there's one more human, and everything else it just goes round. All the beds seem empty. But before we continue, it is ads time. So unfortunately, folks, we need to take a 3-minute break for ads. We are going to still be here. I'm going to just turn the ad screen on. If anyone needs to go bathroom, drinks, stuff like that now, please do so. I am just going to quickly run and pee as well. But yes, we'll be on the ad screen. We'll be back in the 3 minutes when the ad's thing, so no one misses anything. Yes, we will catch you in 3. So yeah, back in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Let us continue. So, yes, so you were in the infirmary, and as you look around, you walk in to look around, you see that the wings are sort of horseshoes of beds, and there is, if it was like 1 to 15, there's a human in bed like 5 and a human in bed like 9. The rest of them are all what looks like completely empty and well made. What would you like to do?
I mean, I'm going to peer under the beds, because I assume there's dwarfs somewhere under there.
You look under the bed, there's dwarves lying face down under each bed.
Is that normal?
Oh, that's what they've been doing, yeah. We're not really sure why they're doing it. They just seem to, well, we'll show you. And she walks over, she leans under the bed, she pulls a dwarf out in one hand by his belt and just bops him on top of the bed. And he goes, "You just watch this." And he just sort of judders a little bit, and he goes, "Mother." Then he just rolls to the side, falls off the bed, and rolls back under the bed face down. He goes, "Yep, every time we try and readjust them, they just roll back under the bed."
I'm going to crouch down beside one of the beds and see if I can talk to the dwarf that's under it.
What do you want to say?
Hello? Are you okay?
Mother.
Is it safer under the bed?
All he does is just like blether, and then occasionally you'll just hear the mother.
I'm gonna lean over and just speak to the medic or the orderly. Are they all asking for their mother when you?
Yeah. It seems to be the normal thing they do now. Is you just find them, and then you just kind of go, "Well, what are you after?" And he goes, "Mother."
Have you got any sense out of any of them?
Not really, no. We can't even get a name out of them. All they do is they sit here, ask for their mother, and then, that's about that.
Are the humans affected in the same way?
Oh, no. But they've got some strange stories of those humans. Here, I'll show you. And they take you and they walk over to the front door. Front door? Sorry, I just made the front door noise. My brain just was like, jumped to that. They walk over to the beds with the humans on it. And they go, right, this is Carl. How you doing today, Carl? I'm fine. Is Rudolph better? Oh, Rudolph's just the same as he was yesterday. Are you feeling any better? No, I'm still so very tired. Oh, well, that's fine. You just rest up. It's fine. Now, these people here would just let you know, how did you spend your 24th birthday, Ro? Your 24th birthday? Oh, I had some wonderful mushroom beer. And then we thought we'd take the lift down and play some games in the dig site too. Oh, right. Do you remember what happened? I don't remember anything after leaving this floor. But But Frederick will be fine. He's always fine. He goes, well, that's fine. What about Rodolph then? How old's he then? Oh, he's my younger brother. He's 21. Oh, I guess. And he's over there, isn't he? Oh, that can't be him. He has thick black hair like my grandfather. All right, well, just you rest then. It's fine. She turns round and looks sort of gestures with her head at the other one, who again looks about easily in his 70s or 80s with like balding patches of like thick white hair. And they go, that's their story. I don't know whether I believe him or not, but that's their story.
What on earth is in the mushroom beer?
Oh, we don't know. We briefly used it for sanitizing the sort of surgical tools, and they started rotting.
Oh no. Oh
Right.
dear.
It left a sort of filament on them that made everyone that went near it slightly intoxicated. Although it was very good for keeping things clean, but it did eventually eat through the material.
I see. I'm gonna look round at the others and be like, anyone else think that something's really dodgy with this beer?
I mean, I don't share your same aversion to fungi, but I'm not touching it, and I could really go for a drink.
No, I don't think it's the beer.
I mean,
They're going down to the
would you go down? Would you decide that the way you're going to celebrate your birthday after a couple of beers would be to go down to the bottom level of a mine?
Listen, I celebrated my 24th birthday in a trench. Doesn't matter what you're deciding to do. People have got jobs to do.
Right.
And if you're working
they
in a mine,
didn't go- But they didn't go to do their job. They went to play games. With what?
Hide and seek?
I mean,
I
it would be a
imagine-
good place for
I
that.
imagine miners are much like soldiers. And trust me, once you've had a couple of beers, there's very few games you wouldn't play. You catch my drift? Listen,
Thankfully not. That said, I've never seen a dwarf beer that will do that to a human or to a good surgical instrument.
Yeah.
one way to find out.
I think we should have a look at the beer. But I also think we should go to dig site without consuming the beer. So we've got a better chance of working out what the hell's going on.
Good idea.
Oh, actually, I have empty flasks. We could take some beer with us without drinking it.
Ooh.
Then we can
That's a-
experiment.
And I do actually have an alchemy skill, so we could do some very thorough experiments.
And Aurelia rummages in the pouch and goes, and by the way, just in case, I do have some antitoxin. I don't know if it'll be effective, but just in case someone sips the beer.
Unfortunately, I might be one of the better people for if someone does need to try it. I really don't want to.
But we don't know if it affects elves.
True. But
But we do have a dwarf.
I don't know how much I've told you about the healing incident and
It
the
seemed impolite to ask.
well, it was an injury while I was working in the medicinal garden, and they took me back and laid me on a bench and then healed me. But they didn't clear the bench of the plant cuttings. So, so
I've never seen a drunk plant.
that might help, but the incorporation of the plant material also has given me some extra resistance to poisons and drugs. Though I don't really know how the mushroom might interact with my own mycelium. But it's probably a decent chance of dealing with it. It will have to be a last resort.
I say, but if your body's going to deal with it, then we won't actually find out what it does.
Well, I'm hoping that if we can take it with us without consuming it, we might be able to see if it is attracting something or triggering something down on Dig Site 2.
You reckon it might be location based rather than what's actually in the beer?
Potentially. Or the combination of the two.
We do
It
have
just
a
feels
bag.
very strange that they decided to go to exactly that place after consuming probably quite a lot of beer, knowing young humans.
I was going to
Very
say,
strong beer.
we do have a bag of money and a whole bunch of teenagers kicking about looking for work. I guarantee you we could get somebody to come down with us, feed them a beer and see what happens.
That seems unethical.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
I'm not surprised.
He'll get us what we want,
Mm.
and they'll be fairly compensated, probably.
I mean, I'm not
If they survive.
sure what compensation would make up for 50 years of a very short lifespan.
I think while we're hanging around, we should maybe, in fact, I'll just lean out and see if the orderly's still around and see. Have you ever seen any elves come in with these same kind of effects?
Oh, no, we've not really, no. Most of the, well, no, really, no, you put it that way, we haven't, no.
Do
Yeah,
any of the elves drink beer?
Oh, no, we watched someone try it once, and he sort of blacked out. He sort of fell, I don't really could describe it, really, he sort of just fell straight down. His legs just sort of crossed beneath him, and he just sort of folded like an accordion.
Was he okay afterwards?
Oh, he just needed a good lie down and a couple of weeks off.
Elves do live a long time.
Yes, it might not be very evident.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No, I still think taking a couple of flasks of it down with us might be the safest option.
Yes, take it down in the flasks rather than in someone's belly.
Can I give someone else the flasks, and they go and talk to the people that are selling it, because
Yeah, I've got a few empty pouches.
Thank you. And hand over 2 of the three flasks.
I'll stick them in a pouch.
Right. He wants to do anything else in the infirmary, or you want to just wander over to the canteen then?
Yeah, take a wander canteenwards.
Mm.
Okay. So you wander out the infirmary, you wander towards the canteen. As you get close, a very youngish looking elf in a very pompous looking chef's hat just leans forward and goes, "Hi there, would you like some bread?" Freshly
What's
made.
in it?
Oh, bread. You know, bread. He sort of looks very kind of confused as he's not sure what else to say, and then kind of goes, it's elven bread. It's very nice.
Elven bread made from real elves, is it?
Made by real elves. Yes.
So what did you put in it?
Savan, what do we put in the bread? And you just get this sort of very sarcastic sounding voice from them going, "Love and attention." It's full of love and attention.
Can I hear this
I've never been
argument?
partial to elven love and attention. I'll pass.
Yes, you can hear this argument, yes. So,
Oh, am I brave enough to wander in and go, I'll have some elven bread, please?
you wander over, you take the bread. It's just tastes like very fresh bread. It's quite dense, but again, it seems to be quite sort of sustainable. As you sort of look around, you just hear this voice going, "Oh, you're drinking the beer, are you? Sorry, you're drinking the bread, are you? You want beer with that? It actually puts flavour into it." As you sort of turn to look, there's a sort of old-looking dwarf woman, sort of idly, sort of half smoking a very thin-looking roll-up, and he goes, "You'll want some beer with that, dearie."
What sort of beer do you brew here?
"Oh, we brew it with mushrooms, dearie."
I didn't know you could brew with mushrooms.
"Oh, it's quite the trip." And she sort of goes, "Only 1 or 2 gold a tankard. It's much better than that elven pish they sell over there." And she gestures towards the elf who just had at this point taken out a bottle of wine and was about to offer you wine. Oh, maybe you'd like some wine instead. We've got some very nice elven wine. It's very fruity."
Well, I'll take a beer, and I'm sure my colleague can go and get a wine if she wants.
Oh, yes.
"Oh, thank you. Much more appreciated." And she says, "Oh, fine, dearie. Here you go," and just slumps a very large tankard in front of you.
Thank you very much. And I'll just pick it up and hold it at my side.
And I'll just surreptitiously take it off him and just start decanting into the 2 flasks.
All right. She goes, "Oh, you're taking it into shots, are you? Well, that's a more brave idea, I suppose. Probably lasts better for humans."
Yeah, we're of weak constitution. We need to pace ourselves.
"Oh, I've only seen a handful of humans that have managed to take even a couple of drinks from the beer and still not fall over."
What sort of mushroom is it you use?
"When did we find, dearie?"
Oh, are they collected here in the mine?
"Oh, well, you see, I have an agreement with a lot of the miners that they bring me mushrooms. The mushrooms go in the beer. They get some beer.
I see.
I'm not very picky, dearie, as long as it's mushroom, because mushrooms are mushroom."
Oh, I just had a thought. I want to just say quietly to the group so that the brewmaster can't really hear me. It's like, so mushrooms have to grow on something organic, and we're in a mine where a lot of people have gone missing. What organic things could be left in the dark for the mushrooms to grow on? Are we drinking corpse beer?
Beer with a memory.
It was always going to be corpse beer if it was mushrooms.
There is also a worse possible suggestion, but I'll keep that for later, when we're well out of earshot.
I am going to drink some more of the wine.
Okay, you get a very fruity, sparkling taste.
Does it taste safe?
Yeah, it's taste of berries.
Excellent.
Sweet. I'm going to chuck that elf a coin and take the bottle.
All right. So you get a bottle of wine. It smells incredibly fruity, which is substantially different from the smell of mushrooms, which you're sure from the smell of mushroom alone that you've lost your eyebrows.
Can we find somewhere relatively quiet where I can actually have a look at the beer in these vials and try and figure out
Yeah.
anything about it?
Just go take a seat at a table. The mushroom brewing woman just ignores you immediately because you bought beer from her, so she no longer cares.
Excellent. Yeah, then I guess I'm going to try some kind of alchemy check.
All right.
The closest thing I can do. Oh, and I get an 18.
18. You sort of swish it around and watch it. You see little bits of mushroom floating in it. You extract one or two of these little bits of mushroom and you look at them after a while and you find that they are highly hallucinogenic.
Not a
Well, there's
surprise.
part of the issue.
But hallucinogens don't make you age 50 years.
Oh, but it might explain the dwarves.
Which reminds me of the thing I was going to wait until we were out of earshot for. They need to grow something organic. But there are, funguses that grow on, like, living things, people, and mold. And those dwarves do keep talking about their mother.
Oh no.
What the fuck is down in that mine? Seems like we have a dwarf here. Have you got any unusual creation myths to share with us? With regards to mothers in the mountain?
I'm not immediately aware of any. I don't believe there are any in my family history. But I can't speak for every dwarf.
Aris is really quite concerned by the route this is taking.
We have been paid up front. I'm not suggesting that we just run and probably take the pickaxes as well to get a little bit of extra value out of our trip, but
I think this mine needs to be shut, or at least dig site 2 might need to be shut down. But we'll need to come back with actual evidence to make that happen. So
what if we drop the gold shavings, but in some kind of way where it's clear that they couldn't really have gone there and the mine gets shut down while everything's mired in legal battles?
no bad idea.
You just drop the gold shavings into the middle of a graphite seam. And so, no, the gold can't be in graphite. No, and they'll fight back and forth as to whether that's real or not, and the mine will be shut down while they try and figure out whether it goes back to the dwarves or not.
I'm more interested in seeing what happens if we put some mushroom beer into a refining kiln. Because I think this beer might have some properties that we're not immediately aware of.
yes. I think we need to not have anybody in here at any point. I'm very suspicious of that brewmaster, though. Like mushrooms are all different. There's no way that just
Mushrooms.
any random mushroom they happen to find is going to work for her brewing.
I don't think that she's brewing the mushrooms. I think she's adding them for flavour.
Even
Because, like
so.
as you say, you can't brew with mushrooms directly. That doesn't work.
So there's definitely something on dig site 2 that is stealing lifespan, prematurely aging. Dwarves also live longer than humans, don't they?
But they were coming back out with white hair. They don't live that much longer than humans.
Dwarves age a lot better than humans, is the thing. You see a lot of old dwarves, you don't see quite so many old humans, and of course elves barely age at all over their lifespan.
Yes. Still think it would have to be me if we do need someone to try it. Why should it have to be mushrooms?
Although I do need to ask if it's not insensitive. Do lupins age like dogs?
It's not something I've thought about. You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I better hope not, and definitely don't drink that beer.
No. I'll stick to the wine, thank you.
Yeah. Keep away from chocolate as well, just in case.
You had to remind me.
Mm.
There is, of course, a safety inspector on Dig Site 2 who might be a tad thirsty by the time we get down there. I don't believe he's providing any positive service to anybody in the mine or outside of it.
Well, we know the one up top wasn't. Not to tar all safety inspectors with the same brush. The one down in Dig Site 2 could actually have uncovered some stuff. I doubt it.
Well,
Or something
we'll
might
find
have.
out when we see him.
Someone might have uncovered him.
I don't think it's uncovering him we've got to worry about.
Mm.
On level 1, there was the storerooms as well, yeah?
There was a barracks, there's an infirmary, and there's a canteen.
Okay.
So I'm assuming the barracks is where we had snoring, so there's most likely just folk sleeping off their shifts in there.
But remember the elf said that that there might be a ghost that was wobbly.
Mm.
This is
I think that's just the hallucinations.
Oh, I thought you were going to say is that someone who's prematurely aged, got drunk, and is just a bit unsteady on their feet.
It definitely could be,
Also,
but it could also be if they see one of the other ones, especially if it's a dwarf that's prematurely aged, and they're hallucinating. Doesn't help with what's aging them.
no.
No. We'll have to go down to the bottom and find out.
Yeah, yes, we will.
I was worried you would say that. In that case, I think it's time for some dwarven courage and start slugging the wine, sharing the bottle around.
Alright. Alright, well, if you're at that stage, we'll just say that the horn sounds off, the lift starts moving again. Where would you like to go?
Do we want to go straight down to Dig Site 2 and just bypass the first one? Let's just send it.
I really don't, but I think that might be a good idea.
I think it's hard to see what we can usefully gain from Dig Site 1 without knowing what's going on in Dig Site 2.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I
Nico.
was going to say, Wolf, you did want to see what happens when you put a vial of this stuff into a refining kiln.
Aye, I did. But my suspicion is that if we do that, we're going to want to be on the lift up, not expecting to go further down.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, just to remind you again, the ground floor is the station, the little stalls, and the offices. Staying on floor 2 is the infirmary, the barracks, and the canteen. Next floor down is Dig Site 1, the refining room, and the equipment room. And then the floor below that is Dig Site 2. Where would you like to go?
I think we're going to have to go to Dig Site 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nervously fondle my lucky rabbit's foot the entire way, but yeah.
Alright. So you climb aboard the lift, you head down, As you pass the floor with dig site 1 on it, you see that there is a bunch of miners that seem to be striking. They seem to be all standing together, jumping up and down with, like, just complaining about the conditions they're working under. But as you head down to dig site 2, it gets remarkably quieter. And as you step off the lift to dig site 2, you are immediately just met with this. You're in this sort of cavern, and there are some tunnels just leading off in various directions. There are just several groups of miners just standing around. So there's a group of dwarves and some humans just sort of mining away. You notice immediately when looking at them that the human has like white streaks through his hair, and the dwarves are sort of greyish in hair. What would you like to do?
I'd like to ask them if they drink the mushroom beer.
Alright. You go up to the group of them. The human turns round and he goes, "Hello! How can I help you?"
Hello. By any chance, do you drink the mushroom beer from the canteen?
"Oh no, I'm just 18, I don't drink."
I see.
"I sing though."
Excellent.
That's more than fine, thank you.
We were told there was some rumours about Dig Site 2.
Oh.
Do you know any of them?
Oh, I like digging in dig site too. I've only been here a day, and I really like it so far.
Why do you like it here so
Oh,
much?
there's this noise every so often, and it's a great one for a sort of sounding board for singing to. You just hear it now, and very distant, sort of faintly carrying along the corridors is just this kind of. Like, hear that? That's a great start. So you go, and it just starts away this really far too jolly song, and you just see the dwarves just like trying to stuff their own ears with more cotton.
Go up to Dig Site 1.
What?
You need to go to Dig Site 1.
Oh, but I've just got a nice big pile of graphite here.
No, it's alright, we're from the Union.
Oh, I don't know if I signed for them. I was a little bit drunk in the meeting. Well, I say drunk. I don't drink. No, nothing like that. No.
No, of course not.
I saw your name on the list.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go up to the Excite 1 next time the lift comes down then. I was gonna go there anyway because I need to hand my graphite in.
And you might as well stay on the same level once you're there.
Oh well, that's a potential point. I meant to be meeting Alfred later, but I don't really know what's happening with him. He's been awful quiet today.
Oh, where is he?
Oh, we went down one of these tunnels, you see, this morning when I got here. I stayed here, you see, because, I like the draft from the lift.
Okay.
But I've not heard from him. It's unlike him. I even started calling for him a couple of times, but he's usually he responds, but I haven't heard from him.
Well, we have to take a look around, so if we see him, we'll let him know you're looking for him.
Oh, you can't miss him. He's a big butch lad. Great muscles, great physique, wonderful arse. He's got long blonde hair.
Excellent, thank you.
He sort of nods and then you hear him sort of moaning again along the corridor, and he starts up again another song as he continues mining. And the dwarves again just try and stuff more and more cotton into their ears.
I guess before I leave, I try and say to the dwarves that, if you were at Dig Site 1, you wouldn't need to listen to him sing.
When the dwarf pulls out all this massive wad of cotton, he goes, "What?"
If you were up on Dig Site 1, you wouldn't need to listen to him singing.
But the ghost's up there. Don't want to deal with a ghost. Just
Oh, the
the
ghost is
wham-
up there.
he goes,
I
"What?
see.
What? Yeah. Brother Big Tooth. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah."
Okay.
And he just,
Well, fair enough.
as the next chorus starts, the cotton goes back in, and the death glare from the dwarf to the human continues as then they continue to chip away at the mine.
You're right. We've
Okay.
got two issues here then. So if
Yeah.
the thing that the scares the dwarfs into crying mother the whole time, and then Mother Big Tooth's on level 1. But you saw what happened to that kid, right? He's been down here for a day, and he's already got a big white streak through his hair, and he's 18. This level this level's doing something weird as well.
I think this is the potentially dangerous level. A ghost. Well, it's probably not a ghost that's eating their lifespan. So, right.
Let's
Let's,
go see what that noise is about. And I don't mean this little light.
Yes, it doesn't sound very positive, does it?
I wouldn't call it tuneful.
Neither of them.
Well, and mournful.
Alright.
Both of them.
Well, it might be soon. Okay.
Alright.
If we're going to start wandering down into these tunnels, I've just got the hand on the hilt of my sword. I'm not exactly comfortable about this.
Okay. What light sources do you have?
I have got an oil lamp.
Okay, so you've got an oil lamp, and what's that, Coakley?
I have torches. And flint and steel.
Okay. Anyone else have anything,
have
or are you just
none.
following with that?
I have some candles for an emergency, and also flint and steel.
Alright.
Excellent. This means I don't need to carry anything that's burning.
Are you the kind of plant that will catch fire?
Not easily, but if the fire is strong enough, I may not recover well.
Oh, that's fine. I don't think I'd recover too well from a fire that strong anyway, so you're probably
No.
alright.
Yeah, me either.
Oh.
You ever smelt burning fur?
Elves tend to recover fairly well. It does take a while. Oh, that might be another lifespan issue. Okay.
Not all of us have got a while.
Aye. But hopefully we all still do. Even after getting back out of here.
Let's go find that noise.
Okay.
Yes.
You heading down the corridor that you heard the noise come from?
Carefully.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So you
And,
all of
and
our
every,
lights
te- every 10 or 15 feet, I'm going to make a mark on the wall in chalk, showing which direction we've come.
Okay. So you head down the corridor. It gets narrower and narrower, and it's obvious at this point that it's been made by dwarves in shorter races, as it were, rather than like tall elves. And as as it gets lower and you get a bit more hunch as you're walking along, occasionally there's just a slight tingle of warm air starts just running off you as it's going along. Just every 5-10 seconds, just this odd tingle of warm air just catches the edges of your face and edges of your fingertips. Just this quite warm, quite sort of something strange about it.
Does it have a scent?
It just has a scent of sort of stagnancy.
Shouldn't be air venting in from the end of a mine shaft. Something's not right there.
Is it dry or wet air?
It's very
For
dry.
one's own- So it's not breath, at least. That's good.
It might be. It means it's not breath from a normal creature.
It's not breath from something made of meat.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Alrighty. So as you continue on, Your light seems to be showing less and less as you're going across. But eventually the tunnel opens out to quite a large room. And as you hold your light source up, you see on the wall to your left very large, deep scratch marks in the wall. Like a creature very, very large was like slashing at the wall. And as you examine them, they go quite deep in. And as you slowly turn away and examine the rest of the room, you walk around and you find there's something in the middle of the room. As you walk closer to it, you discover a quite large pile of bones.
Nope. Aurelia's hackles are up. Do not like.
So these are bones at the size of like some kind of giant creature, like maybe like a dragon or something, but it's just a pile of bones. And
What sort of bones?
The closer you get to them, the more you just see the occasional patches of what looks like some kind of mushroom growth on it.
Do these mushrooms look similar to the ones in the beer?
Yes.
That might explain some of it.
I'm just going to back off a bit and pretend we're very interested in those scratch marks. Do not like the bones.
So...
Do you have any spare oil for your lamp?
I do. I have a flask of oil.
You know what makes dry, old, brittle bones really, really flammable? The fact that they're dry, old, and brittle.
And do you know what happens in an enclosed space when you burn a whole bunch of psychedelic mushrooms?
That doesn't mean we can't throw something at them.
Again, I feel like a dwarf should understand how a mine works. Once we've started the fire, the smoke has nowhere to go but where we are.
And the air won't be good, will it?
No.
No. Tell me, have you ever done sapper work in your storied career? Or has it only been trench warfare?
Done a little bit of everything. Why, what are you thinking?
Demolish the mine.
Yeah, bring this tunnel entrance down.
I feel like I could give that a solid go.
Line of oil. Works as a fuse. This surface should hold oil for long enough.
Mm-hmm.
The smoke's not going to hurt us any if the tunnel entrance is shut behind us as we head back out of it.
It's true.
Hang on, I've got something I want to try here. And so Aurelia reaches just behind her ear and pulls out like a little tuft of hair. So, sorry, I'm shedding season. And just dips a very tiny bit of it into the flask of the mushroom beer.
Mm-hmm.
And then set the lamp down, safe enough distance and kind of arm outstretched. Just put it into the fire to see what happens.
It just burns. It just crackles quite a bit, but it doesn't burn as much. Doesn't burn as much as an oil would.
Bugger. I was hoping that the beer would be, if it was that, did that to surgical tools, I was hoping it would be slightly more flammable than that, and that would be another source of fuel.
Good thought, but I think it's more acidic than flammable.
Oh, they've been sterilizing their surgical tools with acid for a while before they got wise to it. That must have been horrifying to be operated on with that.
You can't complain when you're hallucinating.
Yeah.
It might be better to be hallucinating during that, to be fair.
Surgeon and an anesthesiologist all in one.
Okay, so if we get me and Wolf to get ready to bring the wall down with these pickaxes, I'm sure there's a joist somewhere we can attack. We can have you two set up the line of oil, splash a little bit around the bones, and then make a nice long trail to get us out. The second we light it, we just start battering the supports until the thing collapses. We might be good. And then we can go and investigate that spooky bitch up on floor 1.
I mean,
Are there
for sure.
other tunnels leading out of this cavern?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we perhaps shouldn't cut off what is potentially a line of retreat. I mean, we don't know if anyone's gone on further. The Brewmeister said that she accepts mushrooms from any of the miners bring up, so miners have definitely made it this far. We could be sealing them in.
Another human somewhere in the mine today.
This is true. We know for sure that Alfred's
Alfred.
out there somewhere.
Okay, I think we should try one of the other tunnels.
Okay.
Or
Whilst making sure to stay far away from the bones, right around the outside wall.
actually, can I go to some of the tunnels and shout for Alfred down each of the tunnels to see if we get a response?
Mm-hmm. You go and you shout down. There's like, you find, as feeling your way along the wall, you find 3 different tunnels leading off in different directions. You shout down the first 2, and as you go to the third one, a figure appears out of the gloom in front of you, holding a clipboard. He goes, "Oh, I see, a noise complaint. Well, that's the next thing on my list. I will put it there. What is your name, please?"
Aris.
Oh, I see. And how are you spelling that? I find spelling very important.
A-R-I-S.
Yes, right, okay. Well, I have you on report. I will mention to the upstairs that you've been causing noise. Can't be having noise, no.
Problem.
Yeah, you should go and report it now.
Oh, I'll get there. I have 30
30.
pages of report here to be handed in.
Oh dear. Are there many other? Have you come across many other miners today?
Oh, no, not that many mines, no, but I have found numerous piles of bones. And they have got fungus growing in them, which means they've been left unattended long enough that it has taken hold. This is unsanitary. We can't have miners working in this condition.
How many is numerous?
Oh, if you go into that room, and he gestures down a corridor, you'll find another hall with several hundred bones, just scattered everywhere.
I'll take your word for it.
So one thing we did notice was that there seems to be these really big claw marks on the walls.
Oh, I have that down to threatening decor. We
I
had to be
see.
down, it had to be removed. Not everyone
Is-
appreciates a threatening decor.
Very true.
If I just take a quick look at the inspector. How's his hair? Is he showing any signs of greying?
He is human and he is very grey. I know he's not very grey, but he's got more than just a little pepper.
How long have you been safety inspecting then?
Oh, I've been doing it for 5 years now. I spent my early 20s learning about how best to improve safety.
I see.
I mean, he could
I-
definitely have some pepper authority.
I think they might need that report very quickly.
Oh, they'll get it. Don't you worry about that. There's time for everything. That's why they
So
call
I'm
me
gonna-
Tony. They go, "Tony, you're the best time you ever had." And I go, "Yes, I am."
I see.
then,
Thank
Tony,
you,
tell
sir.
me, are is this mine certified to have you know, explosives in any of the storerooms?
Oh, yes, there are explosives upstairs. I've been informed of this.
And oil for the lamps?
Oh, I believe so.
Good, good. Always good to hear.
I would like them to stop placing fake bones around the place as well.
What makes you say they're fake?
He walks up, he sort of looks at the sort of big pile of bones next to you. He just picks one up and just goes, and it just breaks like an eggshell. And he goes, "This is obviously fake. No real bone would break this easily. It is not real bones, therefore it's just trying to scare people. We have to reduce this kind of lollygagging and sort of fun and buffoonery. It can't be good for everyone."
I'm going to pick up one of the bone pieces that he broke.
Mm-hmm.
I assume I can tell whether or not it's real bone.
It feels like real bone, but it's as thin as eggshell.
Because the mushrooms are to eat something.
The internal, as you sort of look inside, the internals do have 1 or 2 mushrooms growing inside.
Okay, so they've completely destroyed the cortex and it's just the lamellar that's left. Yeah, I think these might be real. Okay. I think we need to walk around and check this out as quickly as possible.
Can I ask you one more thing, Tony, before I go?
Oh, yes, you can ask me things. This is Tony. Yes, I'm the question boy.
I've been quite curious about starting a career in health and safety. I don't suppose you've got a spare one of those clipboards that I could borrow and I can take some notes while we're having a wander around?
I always carry a spare. And he sort of ruffles through a small bag and he hands you it. And he goes, "Oh, if you're going to get into the career, I advise you one thing, and that one thing is get them to make sure they spell your name correctly. Because if they spell your name wrong, then you know they don't care about safety."
That's very good advice, Tony. Thank you very much.
You have no idea how many people can't spell Tony. It's getting a bit ridiculous now.
No even going to ask. We will bid him adieu. Fucking jokes on Tony, I can't even spell my own name. Right. So, first things first. I need one of you to write on this that it's an order to get us explosives, oil, and probably somebody to lug it down here for us.
I've got literacy and bluff, so I could probably do something convincing.
There you go.
Okay.
I was going to say, of course, the officer can write a requisition order.
That's kind of more my speed.
Alright. I assume because you've got infinite time, you can come up with something that will look relatively official.
Good.
And just to kind of give it a little bit of extra credibility, would it be worth me putting that one of the brooches that the elf gave us on there, as almost like a seal?
Aye. I was going to say, here, take mine, stick it on, co-sign it for Tony.
I know, Tony seems officious. If he finds it before it gets actually picked up and filled, he'll put the kibosh on that.
Fine, I'll distract him by asking him more health and safety questions.
Fair enough.
Never be a problem.
Alright. Well, we have a 2-minute warning for ads, so we'll carry on. And when it gets to 30 seconds, I'll switch to the ad screen again.
While all this is going on, have we still been able to hear the moaning sound?
Yes. The moaning and the warm breath, or warm sort of air, continues.
Are we any closer to being able to actually find the source of it?
It seems to be coming from one of the tunnels.
Was it the one that Toby just came out of? Sorry, Tony just came out of?
No. It was the first one you shouted down.
Okay.
I just quickly ask him as well. By the way, while you've been down here inspecting, you haven't come across a human called Alfred, have you? Have
Oh,
had to report him for anything?
let me just see my notes. And he scrolls back. He goes, oh, I do have an Alfred here. I met him this morning. He was very rude to me. He told me that he was a teenager, and I told him he was lying, and I wanted to see his proper credentials. Then we had a small argument, and he stormed off.
And which direction do you recall?
Oh, I don't remember now. I was too busy checking the walls at that point.
Fred's down the screaming hole.
I'm not convinced that. I don't think if we find Alfred, we're going to be able to save him anyway. Not if he's been so far in.
It's up to you. We could go and look. I'm more than happy to create a small firestorm and leave whoever's down here to their fate. But
Have a look at each other and see if we're seeing any signs of aging.
You hold up the light around each other. There's one or two grey hairs, but nothing too major.
I'm getting some white around my muzzle.
Okay. So it does seem to just be amount of time down here.
All
Probably.
right, well, that adds in 5 seconds, so we were going to swap to the ad screen momentarily. So if anyone needs to take a break, do anything you need to do, you have 3 minutes. We will go to the ad screen, and we'll continue the story in 3 minutes. So let me just press the ad screen now. Alrighty, ads are done in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Story will begin. And now. So yes. Just continue.
Right. Do we go find out what this moaning noise is in aid of? Or do we write them off as unsalvageable and crack on with working out what else is going on around here?
I definitely want to make sure we stop as many people as possible from coming down here. It's clear that Dig Site 2 is hazardous to your health. You know, Tony's clipboard be damned, it's more than hostile decor.
Yeah. I'm also worried that there was something giant in here at some point that made those claw marks. Like it was desperate to escape.
there might still be something giant in here.
Yeah.
Well, there is a giant pile of bones of some huge creature in the middle of the room that's growing the mushrooms. It could have been that left those claw marks.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bones. Do the ends of the forearms look like they have or had claws at some point?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say that it was definitely this thing trying to escape.
From looking at the claws on the floor to looking at the marks on the wall, they are definitely from the same thing.
How long do we have before the lift is available again?
Let's just say a couple hours. Not long, but longer than you'd like.
Yes. Yes, definitely longer than I'd like.
We could go and have a peek and see what is making the moaning noise.
I think we should go have a look and see if we can identify it.
I'm more willing to go and look for the moaning source, the source of the moaning, than stay in the bone room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
By the sounds of it, it's not something that can particularly move around all that well, if it's not moved since, so we should at least be able to run if it comes to it.
Yeah, as long as we can find our way back. But Wolf has been keeping the chalk marks, haven't you?
Yep, all the way along.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you make your way, you follow the moaning sound again. The closer you get to the moaning sound, the more often the warm breath, the warm air hits you. And eventually you come to what looks like a dead end, but there seems to be a wellway with the lid lying off on the floor. And as you get closer and peer down the wellway, you do hear the sound of coming up from it. And every about 15 seconds there's another large waft of this very, very stagnant warm air.
Does anybody have a rope?
I have rope.
I really wish you hadn't said. Well, if it's your rope, we can dangle you down.
I wouldn't want to send anyone in there. Why not, tie either a torch or the lamp to the end of the rope and lower it down? Let's see what we're getting into first.
Yes,
could tie
yes,
Tony.
that one. Can we try that?
Nice.
Do you trust Tony to give us an accurate answer after we tie him up and throw him down a well?
I think he'll give us a very accurate answer, no matter what we've done to him, by the sounds of Tony.
That doesn't seem right.
Say that as one of us. But yeah, we'll send the torch down first.
Alrighty. So you wrap the torch in rope, and you lower it down. By the time it gets to the end of the rope, it's still the tunnel still keeps going, and it's still pitch black further down.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I think we put the lid back on it and walk away.
Yeah.
Because we can't get down there safely, so there's nothing we can do for anybody that is down there.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be coming back to make sure there's at least a decent amount of oil poured down there before we light everything on fire.
Alright. So you
Yeah.
recover the wellway. This time the air seems to just pass through the stones on the sides whenever it comes through, but the moaning is substantially quieter.
Something.
if I can just hold up the lamp and have a look at my companions again, does it look like we're aging any faster from being this close to the wellway?
Again, most of you now, apart from the elf, have at least some obvious signs of grey.
I was wondering if it would be a case of that we have faster aging the closer we got to this wellway, but it seems that we're progressing just the more we're down here.
I'm
Yeah,
wondering if to prevent us having to come back down to this level, if once we're up on possibly dig site 1 or possibly the level above, we can destroy the lift rather than having to come back down here to block it off.
If you destroy the lift, how there's still something going on dig site 1. How are the people going to get back up from there? We'd need to convince everyone to
We'd need to
evacuate before.
We would need to evacuate and then
do it from the top floor. You wouldn't do it from the barracks.
Yeah,
See-
we'd need to convince everyone that they need to get out of the mine.
I think we
Then-
need to investigate dig site 1 because we don't know yet if it needs to be destroyed or not.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if people are just seeing ghosts, that's not necessarily dangerous. What's down this far is dangerous.
Mhm.
What's down this far is certainly bad for your physical health. We need to work out what's going on with this mother, whatever the name was.
Brother Big Tooth?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Let's walk and talk.
Aye.
I don't want to miss the list.
no, definitely not.
Okay.
But no, I think if we go and we'll go and investigate our ghosty friend, and then, yeah, and then like I said, I think a nice fake order to get some solid demolitions on the go would be a good start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether we use that for the lift or for just as much of Dig Site 2 as we can.
I think we need to go back to the lift so we can get out of there and see if we can drag the miners that are close by up. Tell them it's going to be shut down and they'll be
Yep.
trapped down there.
Union strolled for a strike on this level and pitch it in upstairs. Come on.
They might not all be members
Nice
of the
and
union,
easy.
though. We could try and, I could try and summon up my best military voice, and with the authority that with the brooches that the elf gives us, that we're on their side, we're working for the powers that be, and just try and convince them that, all right, this is shut down on orders from management. Everyone back up to Dig Site 1 and keep mining there.
Well, let's see what works.
Yeah.
Alright. So you get back to the lift. I assume you're just going to wait around for the lift to become active, so you wait around until you hear the horn go off and you feel the machinery again start activating. Where would you like to go?
I think we want to go to Dig Site 1, but before we leave, we want to do and try and convince all the miners that are down here and close enough to the lift to hear us to get on and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well there's only about 4 or 5 miners that are there. Most of them
Okay.
are going to be leaving anyway, it seems, because it seems like it's the end of the day.
Perfect.
If there's anyone that wants to try and stay, I'll try and give them an intimidate.
Tell them there's free beer.
Welcome in.
that might help.
Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you, Katie, for raiding in. These folk are doing the same one that you did on Monday. So they're about halfway through. So yes, thank you again for the raid. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so however many we're getting on the left, fair enough. Anyone that wants to stay behind, I'm going to try and give them a bit of an intimidate. Try and convince them this site's been shut down for the day at least. If you want to continue mining, Dig Site 1. If not, canteen for beer.
Yep.
Alright. So what's the consensus?
Dig Site 1?
Yep.
Dig
Yes.
Site 1.
Dig Site 1.
So you climb on, you take the lift up to Dig Site 1. As you climb off, it seems relatively quiet here, considering compared to what it used to be. But it seems that there's definite signs that there's been some sort of rioting here. Or at least there's been a bunch of people complaining and protesting here. As you look around, to your left you see the entrance to the mine itself. Straight in front of you is something called the equipment room, and to the immediate right of you is the room with the word refining written on it, which is oddly quiet. What would you like to do?
I want to maybe just have a peek into the equipment room, just to see what we're dealing with in terms of oil, explosives. What can we...
You
Just for planning purposes, we're not trying to take anything yet.
You open the equipment room. There is just very much everything you'd ever need for mining is here. There does seem to be quite a large section for barrels. There seems to be several missing, but all of them seem to have like a black powder inside them. There's
Ooh.
huge flasks of oils and sort of barrels of oil just lying around. So yeah, this is almost everything you'd ever need for mining.
Folks, it looks like someone's got the same idea as us. There's a lot of explosive missing.
Hmm.
And there have been riots.
I think we just, keep investigating, but let's keep on our toes here.
Yeah.
So, do we want to go check out the refining room, or
Let's look at the refining room on the way past.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did want to throw some beer in it.
As you open the refining room, you hear the sound of it's like one or two machines are working, but the main one isn't. And as you're trying to work out what best to do, you see sort of wiggling in front of you is it looks like the sort of legs of an elf who looks like he's buried deep in the machinery trying to get it working.
Hmm.
And maybe just tap him on the back of the leg and just, hello?
You and an elf pulls himself out. He's wearing quite an obviously fake beard. And he goes, hello, yes, can I help you?
What's up with your machinery?
Oh, something weird's gone up with it. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it just seems to have broken recently, and that's what all them dwarves were writing about outside. They believe it's the ghost got into the machine. Well, I can't find anything yet, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it soon. Don't worry.
Hmm.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Oh, be my guest. If you have tinkering, feel free to roll.
I do indeed have tinkering. See if I can roll something useful. Yep, that's a total of 20.
Total of 20. You look under the machine. You see under one section there seems to be a plate and several screws just lying on the floor.
And if I look into the space where the plate would have been,
You just see two or three bolts have just been just pulled out enough to stop wires connecting.
I'm just reconnect the bolt.
Yep, you reconnect them and almost immediately the machine fires back into life. And the elf goes, oh, wonderful, thank you. I must have missed that bit. What happened? Was there something blocking it?
Something like that.
Oh, good.
Now,
Well,
what can you tell me about disguises?
what do you mean disguises?
That's the best beard I've ever seen on an elf.
He emits a very audible sigh and he goes, look, I am half dwarf, half elf. No one believes me unless I wear this damn beard, alright? Everyone goes, you can't be half dwarf, half elf. You'd be a lot smaller and fatter. And I go, well, I don't know that. My mother was a dwarf. My father was an elf. I don't know. I'm just here. All I know is I'm this tall and I can't grow a beard to save me life.
And do you know anything about loose bolts?
Oh, I don't really understand a lot of machinery. I'm learning though. I've only been on the job about 4 weeks. Well, you see, I don't really know much about machinery at all, to be honest, but, you know, when you say to someone, I'm half dwarvish, half elvish, they immediately hire you, because they think, you know, you'll understand dwarven stuff as an elf, but, you know, it's not really that way. But I'm learning, I'm getting there.
You're doing a
Well-
much better job than I would.
Aye,
Oh, well,
it's a good
thank
start.
you.
If you duck back under there, you'll find there's a plate missing and some screws on the floor. You
What?
should be able to reassemble the rest of that yourself then.
He gets down, he's obviously struggling to sort of get into the space. It's obviously not something built for someone of his size, but he starts working at it.
Hmm.
Wonder what caused this then?
I don't think it did it itself, and I don't think it was a ghost.
Well, that's a relief. At this point, there is an earth-shattering boom from several floors below you. The whole ground shakes, and like you just see it through the door from the lift. This massive like foam of like dust just flying straight up and flying everywhere. After a couple of minutes, the dust clears, and you see the elf is sort of coughing but still working on the plate. What do I do?
Is that normal around here?
No, it's not. But it's the dwarf that went down there with the barrels a little while ago.
Oh.
He had the paperwork for requisition in the barrels. It's fine. He'd been told by upstairs he was allowed to take what he needed to look at dig site 3.
Dig site 3?
It's apparently he thinks it's a dig site 3. He thinks all the maps we've got on the mine are wrong. Well, I don't know. He's some sort of contract worker they've brought in to look at the mine.
Did you catch his name at all?
I believe it was Bertie.
We've not heard of him yet.
Nope.
Well, I guess we don't need to wonder where the other barrels went then, at any rate.
Oh, we only took 2 barrels. I'm not sure where the other 2 have gone. Certainly weren't on my watch.
Hey.
When did you start your shift then?
Oh, I start in the afternoons. I sleep most of the morning.
Suppose I'll ask him, you've been on this floor for a few weeks now, getting to grips with the machinery and everything.
Aye.
You heard any of the stories about this Mother Bigtooth?
Oh, I hear nothing but these stories about Brother Bastard and Blicktooth. Every day it's like something happens, the dwarves come swarming round my door. I'm this area just being like, Brother Bigtooth's back, he's blowing me lantern out. Or Brother Bigtooth's back, he's waving a chain at me. I don't know where he's getting no chains from. I know we've got some in the equipment room, but why would there be chains out there? Where's he getting the chains from? And what kind of dwarf would have a chain on him?
Like, they seem to know the name. Was he a miner, or...?
Oh, he was apparently some elder that got squashed by a rock falling or something. They all believe that he's here to haunt the mine because he thinks the elves shouldn't have taken over. And he's here to scare the miners off or something. I don't really know. I've not seen him myself, if that's what you're asking.
I'm pretty sure I've got a good idea how we can see if we can find him.
Oh?
Yeah. Why doesn't the elf take a pickaxe and start swinging it? Guaranteed that'll bring him out of hiding. You won't like that one bit.
Oh, I mean, we could try swinging at him, that's the point. Most of them seem to sort of... Well, it's kind of weird, you see, because I don't see the dwarves. I only hear what they tell me. And what they hear me is they see it. Then they kind of go, ghost, and then sort of run towards me at full speed. I don't know what I'm meant to do about it. I'm not some ghost hunter.
I think, well, you're onto something there. We could head into dig site 1 and smack a few rocks with picks. We still got the picks that we got from the tabaxi up top.
Yep.
And see if anything comes out the dark at us.
Oh,
Yep.
you're welcome to. There's pickaxes there. Help yourself. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
So kindly. Right, everybody grab a pickaxe.
It'd be quite nice to have something we can actually get hold of.
Don't know, what's the quickest... In fact, you can tell us what's the quickest way to piss off a dwarf.
No, tell them you like elves is one. They really don't like elves. First of all, piss off a dwarf.
Tell them they like elves and that they can't hold their drink.
Oh, tell them they're better miners. That's another one. Tell them mining
Oh.
graphite's easier than it would be if you were mining iron or steel or whatever it is dwarves mine. Tell them that. Oh, they'll hate you for that.
Perfect.
Excellent.
All right. So
Yeah.
he offers you stuff in the equipment room, and he just goes, "Well, I'll be here if you need me. I just need to get back to making sure all these machines are working."
Good plan. Aye. So I think if we head to dig site 1,
All right. So you head through the sort of massive archway into dig site 1. Again, this is kind of like the one below, but like a bit smaller. There's just tunnels leading everywhere. The tunnels are all easily human height, though.
oh, that makes things easier. Then yeah, we'll pick a likely looking spot. Everybody start swinging.
Before you start swinging, though, I'm going to put my pickaxe down and just ready my crossbow, have it loaded, and then just set it to the side.
All right. So you just start swinging. You chipping away at the graphite. You eventually have a small pile of graphite in front of you. What are you gonna do with it?
Loudly exclaim, "Man, mining graphite! This is the thing of the future. This is going to be so much better than mining pig iron."
You notice a couple of dwarves nearby stop and visibly just give the turning the head towards you.
Don't you agree, elf friend?
Of course. It never does to be backwards.
Well, can you just kind of give them a tap of the nose? Just let them know this is all for a purpose. Just...
I'm just
I'll
going to
walk
stare
with
the
them.
other dwarves down.
Most of the
Excuse me.
dwarves that are there just start picking up their stuff and moving away from you.
I'll elbow Wolf in the shoulder. Is there like a good, elves versus dwarfs song that we can start singing where the elves win? Like, I'm basically thinking of the equivalent of "Come Out, You Black and Tans."
There will be, but I don't know them, funnily enough.
Elf, any suggestions?
I worked with healers. I guess I'll just start singing some random elf folk songs that I know.
Okay.
So you start singing, more and more of the dwarves are moving away from you. And then suddenly you just hear the scream from the other end of the mine, and you notice as one, there's like a wave of like 10 dwarves just running towards you full pelt, but with fear in their eyes. Like as they get you, they run straight past you and run towards the door with the refining room, where they start like scratching at the door and going, let us in, he's out to get us.
I'm just going to casually set down my pickaxe, pick up my crossbow, and just hold it ready.
I'm just going to say I also have a crossbow, so I might be doing the same.
At this point, you hear the sound of chains rattling coming from down the end of the corridor.
Excellent.
Working.
Right. As you continue to wait, you see one or two more dwarves running past you in sort of fear. After about another couple of minutes, you see. Actually, everyone do me an awareness check. Let's see what you see.
19.
19's probably not going to need to be beaten. You see what is quite obviously a dwarf in a sheet holding a single chain, walking up, rattling it, and going, "Oh!"
I'm going to loose a crossbow bolt at his feet.
Okay. Roll
I'm-
to see
I'm
what it
going-
goes. Are you aiming to
I'm going
hit or are you aiming
swear
to
and
miss?
Step behind the
Aiming
rank
to miss.
because
Alright, roll.
21.
21. You hit him right between the two of his feet. He leaps about 6 feet in the air. He comes flying back down. The sheet takes longer to follow.
Oh.
He
Just
drops
wanna
his
check-
chain and goes, "What the? What we do this for? We should have me.
I just want to shout him out as well. There's a second crossbow aimed right at you. Don't be going anywhere.
You see the look of bewilderment as the sheet just slides back on top of him, and he sort of sits there like not really sure what to do. He goes, it's me, the ghost in that.
You can lose the sheet.
Let me guess. You were paid to make this mine fail so that the dwarves could get it back.
No, I've not, I don't know what you're talking about. He just sits under the sheet still,
Sure,
just sort of, you can see his head moving around, but...
To be fair, he might also have been paid by the elves to get the dwarves out. Bring back one
since it's the dwarves that keep complaining about it constantly.
I want to kind of,
I'm not very worried about it now.
I want to kind of walk over to him. If he's not taking the sheet off yet, just use the tip of the crossbow bolt to like kind of take the sheet off of him, and try and intimidate him and say, "Okay, you're not doing this for fun. So who is paying you?"
You lift the sheet off. He's sitting there in quite obvious dwarven finery, and he's like, "Oh, the ghost. He must have been here. He's
I'm holding I'm still holding the crossbow quite near him. Can I try and intimidate? I am not all that scary. That's a 10.
You try and intimidate. He goes, "You can't intimidate me. A Bannock never runs."
In that case, I think I'll come up behind him and give him just a wee swift boot in the back of the knee.
Okay. He's basically sitting sprawled on the floor at the moment.
Oh.
You can kick him in the back of the elbow if you want.
I kick him in the elbow. That'll
Okay.
do.
You kick him, he slips and falls down, and he goes, "Ah! Bastard, that's my shoulder! You can't do this to me! Do you know who I am?"
I was going to say, I'll lean in and just gently touch the tip of my dagger into his neck, and I'll try an intimidate check.
Alright.
Uh, 17.
17. He immediately starts going, you don't want to be doing that. I'm somebody. You can't be doing this to me.
Mate, I don't give a fuck who you are. Just going to tell us what you've been doing.
I've not been doing anything. And you sort of see his hand going like that, and it just doesn't you just see two sort of dwarfs, well, two sort of other sheet-clad dwarves, but they're obviously sheet-clad dwarves, just leaning out from behind the pillar.
I'm just going to stomp up towards him. Now that we've established that there is no such ghost whatsoever, stomp up and get right in his face, careful not to be in the way of the dagger, threatening him. You bring shame upon your clan and shame upon the rest of us. What are you doing, you appalling little man?
He sort of obviously bigs himself up, even though he's on the floor with a dagger to his neck, and he goes, You don't have ancestors who own this mine. I do. This is my birthright. I'll do what I like."
Doing what you like tends to have consequences. And consequences tend to be short and swift and permanent.
I'll just push the knife
Try
in
a
slightly
better
more.
explanation.
You just what with the knife?
I'll push the knife in slightly more as he says that for emphasis.
He winces quite obviously from it.
I'm going to lean over this dwarf on the ground. Like, and did your ancestors cause something in the lower level that is killing people?
He goes, "What? You've lost me with that one."
dig site 2, the level just below this one.
Aye.
Everyone that goes down there comes up aged by 50 years.
Well, that's Lord Burn Thozzo's job. It's not mine. I just do this floor.
Did you ever wonder why the ancestor might have given away the mine?
He was old and feeble.
Did he like elves? Was he particularly fond of them?
I don't know.
Old and feeble, was he?
Well, he was on his deathbed. He must have been very old and feeble.
I'm sure he must have been after spending time down dig site too.
Yeah. You might
Old
want to
before
go
his
up to
time,
the
was he?
infirmary and see what's happened to your clansmen.
And he again just sort of frantically does the gesture, and the two dwarves in sheets are just backing away and hiding further in the thing. But they're not very easy to hide considering they're both bright white.
Not one of you, no matter who or what you are, should be going down to dig site 2.
It goes,
I suspect your ancestor was trying to save your lives.
But he gave to elves. But this is the dwarven mine. Elves don't belong here.
And elves are the only ones who can come up from there unscathed, or visibly
affected.
unscathed, thanks to our lifespan.
He just starts just jittering at you.
Ugh, useless creature.
Tell you what. Why don't you put that sheet back on? And you and your pals are going to run around and get everybody the fuck out of this mine. I'll let you go.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Good. I'd advise you start doing it now.
He gets up and he puts the sheet on. The sheet has a massive footprint on the front of it, so it just looks slightly fake. But he starts just running around, and after a while you hear more dwarfs screaming, and more of them are running back towards the front door.
Good. Right. Now that that's at least underway.
Well, that's a task that the elf done at the inn sent us to do the taken care of. We can say it's not haunted. It's dwarves and sheets.
Yep.
Rather racist dwarves and sheets.
Oh, speaking of which, give me those gold shavings and we'll just throw them against the wall.
No!
We can't be coming back with them, otherwise we won't get paid. And besides,
Paid.
everything's going to be gone in the fire anyway. Might as well keep our word.
If it's
Or you
all
could
going to
keep
be
the
gone in
gold
the
with
fire.
you.
Yep, gold shavings are still worth something.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, you convinced me. Now let's go and blow the fuck out of this place.
All right. So you head back to the. I imagine you head back to the equipment room. At this point, there's lots of dwarves just jumping up and down, frantically calling for the lift.
I'll kind of walk past them and be like, "Oh, I hope that brother Big Tooth's been about again, has he? Aye."
As soon as you hear they hear the name. Several of them, like again, jump about 4 foot in the air and start acting more panicked.
Good.
Excellent.
Let's just keep them worried. Are there any humans amongst them, or is it just dwarves?
It's just the dwarves.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's just dwarves, and then the one elf that you met earlier with the fake beard.
How long is there till the lift?
Let's just say that because your plan lasted quite a while, that the lift's relatively soon.
Okay. I want to run down quickly and shout down all the tunnels to evacuate.
Alright. You shout. Only about 2 or 3 more miners come up. You see quite a lot of older men coming along.
Okay.
But yeah, doesn't seem to be anyone else as far as you could tell in the mine.
Okay.
And
Right.
then the horn sounds and the lift starts appearing. What do you want to do?
Are we taking black powder up with us? Or are we only getting rid of the floor below?
Well, they just said that there's a dig site 3.
I think we need to seal everything off for at least this level down.
Yep.
So do we need to take black powder up and then seal at the top
know-
of this lift?
Yep.
I'd say that the next floor up has like the infirmary and everything on it. We don't want to. We're not going to get everyone out of there in a timely
No.
fashion. So I'd say we want to leave that floor untouched.
Yeah.
So
I think we need to do it from essentially the point of this lift.
Yeah.
we could just run an oil trail into the storeroom.
As long
Yeah.
as it will definitely take out the
No,
enough
you're right.
of the lift area.
Yeah.
Worth a try. We can always figure out something else later if we need to.
So you probably right. We want to find. Well, we need a way of setting it off after everyone that's on this floor currently has gotten out. So an oil trail that act as a fuse gives enough time for the lift to get up. And then create a panic saying that Brother Bigtooth followed us. He's coming up the lift. Scare the dwarves further away from the shaft, and then
Huck a couple of torches down.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
we'll
see if
do
we can
that.
shift a couple of barrels of black powder to right next to the lift.
Yeah.
Well, to make sure that we're pretty safe.
Alright. You shift a couple of barrels to the... Are you putting it like round the edge of the lift? Or are you putting it in the lift itself?
No, we need the lift to get everyone out, so it's going to be around the edge of the lift. We
Yeah.
use the lift then to get everyone, including us, to safety, and then we set it off.
Alright. So you set the barrels. You you take the lift back up. You try and convince everyone you see on the way past to follow you on the way up. While there are still a couple definitely on the infirmary floor. You get to the top. You see a lot of of dwarves and elves and humans have just turned up for their what was like morning shift. So you try and scare them off with talks of Brother Bigtooth, and then are you just gonna like hurl torches down and hope that the thing goes boom?
Basically, sorry lads, there's been a terrible accident, and then just chuck torches.
So we have
Alright.
barrels set around the lift shaft, and then kind of trails of oil between them, just to try and get as much chance of the torch
Alright.
catching as
There
possible.
is a massive explosion. There is a massive explosion. The floors beneath you start crumbling and you start tumbling down with everyone else as the mine basically folds inwards, creating a small crater. You are now buried under several layers of rock. But you have saved the world.
What?
That,
Really?
That'll do.
I could have
Well,
went
you've just
better, but
impacted the entire mountain, so it's just collapsed in itself. But yeah, at least for the moment, you have saved the world.
That's the first time I've been in a group that actually managed it.
It was the opposite of that last year, where we killed the world but saved ourselves.
survived, yeah.
You killed yourselves, but saved the world. You've unlocked ending 8, I think it is.
Oh wow! Excellent.
Nice.
So yes, years from now, something else may happen that might change this, but for the moment, the world has been saved. So the world has been saved. So let us go through once again and ask, who were you? What do you do, and where can folk find you? So starting. Actually, do you want to end, Dragon? Do you want to start or end?
I'll finish.
Okay. So we'll start with Sam.
I'm SamMunition. I was playing Aurelia. I stream very irregularly, but we shall see what happens. And you can find me right here on Twitch.
All right. You can find out the link for that is in the thing. It's SamMunitionDepot. Next we have Coakley.
Yep, I'm Coakley. I was playing Beric, and once again, I have killed us all. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
But what is it you do, and where can folk find you?
Oh, what do? I am one of the Varlastan cast members. People can find me on Twitter, mainly lurking, but I wouldn't advise it. And yeah.
Awesome. All right, then we have Mr. Greg.
I have been Greg. I've been playing Wolf. The totally not, almost me, grumpy and tired dwarf. Very much done with this shit, and now actually done with this shit. You should find me every other Tuesday night running the Varlastan campaign here on Twitch on the Penance RPG channel, and I do occasionally turn up in my own right on Twitch, where you can find me streaming random games, mostly very complicated ones.
Right, and that's over at Lunrwolf, who is also in the description, and it's just been put in chat.
Look at me pretending to be organised.
And finally, Dragon, who are you, and where can folk find you?
I am Dragon. I was playing Addis, and usually you'll mostly find me behind all the social media that we're on. If there's one you want us to be on and we're not, tell me. I am also a cast member on Varlastan, where I am eminently more sensible than a plant elf. We have 2 sponsors, one of whom has actually just put live a Kickstarter today. It is a deck of dynamic dungeons that you can keep in your pocket. And I've seen some of the cards. It does look pretty good. So I'll throw the link for that into chat if anyone wants to check it out.
I will be backing it and probably carrying it with me. So if you see me any cons when it's actually turned up, so not Dragon Meat, but anyone's after that, ask me about it. I'll probably have it on me.
I can give you the demo deck.
Awesome. If you give me it for Dragon Meat, then I'll have it on me and I'll look through it and give people about it if we see me.
And our other sponsor is D&Dice. And if you use the name of our podcast with them, then you'll get a discount off dice trays, some 5e stuff. There's a range of options.
So yeah, if you want to get dice, go to D&Dice. If you want to augment your game with other such weird shit, go to jimhammer.com. All have great stuff. I have used a lot of their stuff for both companies in various things we've done. So yes, that will do us for tonight. Thank you everyone very much for watching along. I will now go and answer some questions as to what the fuck's been going on in this Halloween thing. But for the public side, thank you all for being here. We will... When will I be back? I'll be back. I probably won't be doing Indie Horror tonight because I'm way behind on an edit and I want to get it finished before the end of tomorrow. And I do have another taping tomorrow afternoon, so I'm hopefully going to take tonight and tomorrow off and I'll hopefully finish it by then. Hopefully. But I'll be back Thursday as normal for TTO. We'll try and do an extra long one Thursday to make up for it. There's no stream currently planned for Friday, Saturday or Sunday. Again, I might do a bonus one to make up for the fact I'm not doing horror later tonight. But again, we'll wait and see. It'll be very spontaneous. Again, like the whole of this month has been. Next Monday, there's no stream because I'm away. But next Tuesday should be back to normal. So next Tuesday should be Indie Horror, Power World, and Indie Horror again. Our next live stream is on the 27th of this month, and that will be with the fantastical Dum Dum Die, who are a South African RPG group, and we've had them on previous years. I will have them on again this year, and I'm looking forward to it because it's usually very good. So yes, that will do us for today. Thank you everyone for watching along. Let us just find someone to raid out to. Who do we know that's on? What's our options? Dark Pictures, or Elden Ring, or The Quarry, or Ren, or Ferrets, yes. I think we will send you over to... Let's send you over to Mr. Click. He was in a previous group. He was in a group that's live on the Libsyn. He was the second group for this Halloween. The group had a very similar ending to this, only there was more fire. So yes, we will send you over to him. So until next time, folks, you all take care. Have a great rest of your night. And we will raid over when he shows up on my list. Where is he? There he is. Yep, we'll raid over this click. So yeah, love yous all. Thank you all. Take care. Good night.
Catch you later.
Night.